Hey, hey, hey! This is Pierre-Yves Delacote talking. What is Viva Insights for managers? So, if you're a manager and you have a license assigned, you will see in your teams everybody can have access to Viva Insight and everybody has access to Home, Stay Connected, Protect Time. But if you're a manager and you have a license, you will see this My Team, which is different than from my organization. My organization is really for leadership team. It's high level data from the whole organization. My team is just for your team as a manager. So you can uh, you can define actually your team. If you're a virtual team, you can go there and trying to get out of this wizard. You can change the people that are in your team if you have a more transversal than hierarchical team, so you can add people there. But then what happens in your team? So in your team, in your My Team tab, you will have access to information to stay connected with your people in your team. So because if you're a manager, you might want to have meetings, and it will tell you if you missed some meetings with some people. That's one thing. You can praise your team pretty easily. You can plan, some time where people can focus on work and not having any meetings. So you can set up a share no meeting day for your team. That's really common for a lot of organization. I've seen that Friday, no meeting Friday week. Um, I quite frankly, I saw that with a lot of customers, and I saw it last 6 weeks, and then people went back to work. So it's you need to be focused on that if you want to make it succeed. But what you can see also is pretty quickly. Um, you can see if you spend enough time with your team. So explore group insight, and if you click explore more, you will see some data from your team. So, for example, the data from coaching and development, and you'll see that you might have missed the mark. You might have not spent enough time, and there's some advice here that telling you what you should do in terms of managing your team and with meetings. You can see if your team is working after hours. So, and you can benchmark against other groups in the organization. So same thing, you can view best practices. So it gives you some information here on how your team is working with you, and if it's working after hours, there may be some problem. But also there's your habits, and so you can see some interesting information. You can see if you're not overlapping with other meetings, if you answer all your meetings, you respond to all your meetings, if you multitask during your meetings, and if your meetings are less than an hour, which is a good practice. And you can see that where it applies. Actually, you see all the meetings here. You see where you reach the mark or not. So you can drill down, where you could have done a better work, and there are some suggestions also. And you have some information here, like last in the past 4 weeks, past months, on average, you collaborate with each team member on 6 out of 16 work days. So that means you reach out to the people either through an email, a chat, a call, just 6 out of 16 working days. And you can see suggestions, and suggestions are very good. It's connected also with the Outlook Inside Add-in. I encourage everybody to use it, and it explains why it matters. So I think that's pretty important because research are clearly showing that when you get in touch daily, on a daily basis, with every member of your teams, you don't have to spend a lot of time. You can just chat, ask a question. Your team is becoming more effective. Yeah, it's not the only thing you should do, but definitely it's a sign of you're taking care of your team. So you have other information like your meeting impact. Um, So, for example, you can see that your meetings have an impact on the meeting you're scheduling, has probably a bad impact on your team if you're, especially when you have a lot of recurring meeting with your team. And we know that recurring meetings are not often very useful. Sometimes you need to have them, but maybe you should shorten them, or act somewhere to make them more appealing. But you block some time, and you can see the impact in terms of hours spent in meetings directly here. You can see, your one-on-one time, have a list of, when you had your last one-on-one with every member of your team, when are the next one, and how you impacted the quiet hours of your team. So you can see that you contact methods during quiet hours was chat. I think that's okay. Chat meetings can be, if you have a meetings when people are working, when they're trying to focus on work, that's not very good. And emails might not be neither a good sign. So a lot of information in my team tab with different uh, indicators, different data, and some tools to plan on acting on the way you interact with your teams, like scheduling one-on-one meetings or scheduling no meeting week day. But a lot of good insights, so you can have a better understanding how you work with your team, what's the impact on your team, and have some insight on how you can solve this. So take a look at my team if you're a manager. This is very helpful to impact your team. Hope this was helpful.